I have been using Synology surveillance system, but when I saw the Ubiquiti's 7-bay UNVR-Pro, I don't want to wait anymore. I want to try UniFi Protect. This is what's in the box: a very well built all metal body and rear mount accessories and a power cable. Very simple. This is what it looked like right after I mounted on the rack. Nothing attached yet. Now let me talk about the first thing I don't like about it. That's the layout of all the trays or screens and or network connectors. It's a mess. So first, it has 7 bays, so it's hard to make it symmetrical. I get it, but Ubiquiti can do it better. See the messy layout, right? And especially the right up corner. So see the two different connectors, one RJ45, the other is SPF plus. They have different directions, different alignment, and the LED lights are in different position, different labels. If you have OCD like me, you know what I'm talking about. So it took me more than 5 minutes, one person, just to install it. One of the reasons is because of the size. It's 2U, so much difficult to install. Another reason is super heavy. It's more than 20 pounds. You will be surprised because it's thick and it's deep, and it's much deeper than just the length of a hard drive. It's almost double that, and it's just well built. It's like a tank. So that's one of the reasons why I like this unit very much when I first saw it on Ubiquiti's website, because it's you can see it's all metal, and including the cage for the hard drives. Everything is made in metal, and according to Ubiquiti's website, it's not aluminum, it's steel. That's why it's so heavy, and it's 7 bays. If you are familiar with the market price for NAS unit, for 7 bays NAS unit, for if it's rack mount, there's no way you can buy any one from any vendors for $500. I know this is not NAS, this is NVR, but we all know just from hardware perspective, it's the same as a NAS, right? And besides for that, it has a LCD screen. It has 10 gigabits SPF plus. So all of this together, Ubiquiti only sells it for $500. To me, it's very impressive. After plug in the power and install all the 7 hard drives and plug in the SPF plus cable, you know what? It looks much better. Now maybe I want to change my mind, and the layout is not that bad. Now let's check what we can tell just from this small LCD screen. So first, let's go to setting. The only thing I'm interested is here, the fan control part. So now you can see the temperature is 77, 78 Celsius, and the fan mode is auto, right? So if I slide this control to the right, you can hear it's totally different when it comes to fan noise. If I release, it will go back because now the fan control mode is auto. Later, let's explore how we can control the fan speed. Okay, so this is the setting part. Let's go to the information section, and again the only thing interests me is here. It tells me the temperature. I don't know how many temperature sensors are inside the body, but here it only tell me one reading, which is 76 Celsius or 160 some Fahrenheit. It's pretty high because I have many other NAS units. They only, from the hard drive side, it's only maybe 40 Celsius. So 77 is pretty high. But now, as maybe you can tell from the LED light of those hard drive base, I'm doing some resyncing. So the CPU is busy or the hard drives are busy. Maybe that's one fact. After talking about the hardware, now let's look into the software. In fact, this is something I'm a little bit disappointed because the software gives us very little information about the UNVR-Pro. Don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about the surveillance camera functionality. I'm purely talking about the information for the UNVR-Pro itself. So this is the settings screen. Here you can see the CPU and the CPU temperature, CPU load, that's good, and the memory consumption, and basically that's it. And here you see how many hard drives you already have and what's the current status. That's it. For example, you don't have your fan control functionality. For example, you don't see any detailed RAID mode information. So if you check my channel, you can find I have a separate video which explains the UNVR-Pro RAID mode. If you are interested, look into that video. I'm not going to spend time in this video on the RAID mode. So this is the settings screen, right? Now let's go to the UNVR-Pro UniFi Protect device information. See, this is the only information the system shows us about the UNVR-Pro device itself. Okay, it shows the current capacity and how many cameras connected, and it shows your hard drives, and because the standard web UI doesn't provide us more details about the device, so let me try SSH. Let me log into the system. Okay, we are in, and let me try command I used for the standard UniFi switches, not the UNVR. Let me see whether it works. The command is called SW control. Okay, command not found. Apparently the UNVR is different with the switch product line. It doesn't have this command. Let me try to see what it has. Go to root folder. Okay, standard Linux folder structure. Let me see what's in SBIN. Okay, so here I do see several Ubiquiti command, and you know what? This one has the potential to be the thing we look for. Let me try Ubiquiti says tool. Okay, so it does have some additional parameter. Let me see which one is related to temperature of fan. Here is I believe it's firmware, I don't care. And it's password check, I guess. Okay, I don't care at this moment. LED, interesting. Storage, I already know the storage information from the UI. Okay, so the only thing I see is CPU temp. Let me try it. CPU temp 74. Okay, so that confirms that on the UI it reports the CPU temperature, not the hard drive. But that's it. That's the only information it gives you. It doesn't have anything you don't know from the UI. And if you know any additional information, please let me know in the comments, but at least I don't see anything related to fan control. Because normally I use SW control to check temperature and to check fan speed, and then use SW control to change the fan speed. But apparently here, it doesn't give you the functionality. Last thing I want to mention about software is about the mobile app. So I have a lot of UniFi switches, so I use the mobile app for UniFi network a lot. And I know if I disable remote access in my account, I can still access my devices remote if I already set it up. But I just found that if I disable remote access in my portal setting, okay, then I won't be able to connect to my UniFi Protect again, even if I am at home, I am connecting to Wi-Fi in the same network. The software just won't connect to my UniFi Protect anymore. So let me show you. Let me launch the iPhone map for UniFi Protect. As you can see, it starts locating devices, exactly the same screen as you set it up for the very first time. So which means whatever I set it up previously is wasted just because I disabled the remote access. So I have to start from scratch, and trust me, it won't be successful this time because it will loop back to the same screen again. Thanks for watching. So now let me summarize my first impression. From hardware perspective, I'm super satisfied. But I believe Ubiquiti has a lot to do about the software. From the UniFi Protect web application to the mobile application to the internal SSH command lines, I see a lot of things can be improved.